So what are we doing tonight on the cast iron kitchen? Some classic bratwurst. And how are we gonna do this? Well, we're gonna bring a large pot of water to a boil first and boil these things for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're at 165 internally. Now we're gonna take it over to our cast iron skillet with a little bit of olive oil to make sure we get a nice crispy outside to these things. And for us tonight, we're gonna make some fried potato to go with it on the side. Let's see how this turns out. For the potatoes, we're gonna use some petite golds and chop them into slices with the skin on. We'll just need to wash them first, chop them into chips, and soak them in a little bit of water for a little bit, and then they'll be ready to go too. We'll just use our 5-spice blend that we love to go to here at Grito's Gold Mine, the seasoned salt, the smoked paprika, the garlic powder, the onion powder, and the black pepper, and those will be great on the cast iron skillet. And so after chopping them up into chips, this is what your potatoes should look like. Now we're just gonna throw those into a bowl of water to soak a little bit while the brats boil, and that'll help get some of the starches out, the excess, as well as keeping them looking fresh for our fry up at the very end. And so we keep them like that until we're ready for them, and on to the bratwurst. The water's almost ready. Seems to be at a simmer already. A couple more minutes and we can pop those in and start the process. Now that the water's at a solid boil, we can put the bratwurst in. Bring it to a simmer. And leave it there for 15 to 20 minutes, at which time we'll end up checking the internal temperature to make sure we're at 165 with our meat thermometer. So let's leave this to go for a little bit, and we'll be back once it's ready for the next steps. As the brats boil, be sure to control the flame just to make sure that you don't get too much foaming, bubbling, and overspillage from your pot. Now that the brats have boiled for 15 minutes, we take a look and see if the internal temperature is to 165 inside. So we have our trusty 165 Fahrenheit, that is. We have our trusty meat thermometer. It's turning on. And we make sure to insert it all the way through to get a good internal temperature, and we're at 170. So we should be good to go for the next steps on this process. Let's check a couple more just to be sure. Always want to be safe than sorry in the kitchen. And yep, 188, 195. We're good to go. Let's brown these up in the cast iron skillet. Let's see what that looks like. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go nowhere. To do the brats, we first put some olive oil to coat the cast iron skillet and start to heat it up so that they go into a nice hot oil so that they'll burn crispy on the outside, hopefully, and keep that nice, soft, meaty center that we just got out of the boil process itself to pre-cook these things. Once the oil is hot enough, we put the brats into the cast iron skillet and flip them, rotationally speaking, as they cook, just so that each side gets nice golden brown to it to even burn crisp on the outside, depending on how you like it. We're going to try to make these a little bit variable when it comes to how well done they are on the outside itself. After the first flip, we see the crisp popping on the outside and the variability that the cast iron skillet has, and that's why during the cook process, we move them around periodically to make sure that they get done as evenly as possible, with certain limits, I suppose, to taste being taken into consideration. And now that we've achieved a nice, crispy outside to each of the sides of these bratwursts themselves, we could take them out, put them on the plate, and let them cook the rest of the way, just like our meats typically would. Sausages, steaks, whatever it is in the cast iron kitchen, we always leave it for about 5 to 10 minutes. And at this point, we can use the remaining oil to do our potatoes. So for the potatoes, it's black pepper first, seasoned salt. Smoked paprika. Garlic powder. All of these are to taste. I really like that garlic powder. And finally, onion powder. We need to make sure that mixes in with the potatoes really well so that they all get the seasoning as they fry up in the olive oil. All right, let's take a look inside. So we're gonna let these potatoes go for a minute. We'll be right back when they're done and see how this meal comes together with maybe a little bit of horseradish sauce on the side. Yum. And this is roughly what you should get at the end of the frying process for the potatoes. They smell delicious. They have a wonderful amount of seasoning balance-wise. And they're perfectly crisp to the outside, soft on the inside, to pair with these bratwurst and some horseradish sauce. Let's get this on the plate and see how it tastes. And now the big reveal. Our potatoes, our bratwurst, and our horseradish sauce. And we're just using the budget route, the Kroger's brand horseradish sauce. It's actually really good, especially for these kind of meals. Got a little bit on the potato here, so we'll try the potato first without. The potato's definitely hitting the spot, and with a little horseradish sauce, let's see. Nice balance between the tang of the horseradish sauce and the more salty garlic onioniness of the potatoes. This is really good. Now let's try our bratwurst. So, we can see inside, it's cooked thoroughly through. And just the bratwurst on its own. Quite tasty, hitting the spot. It is definitely a crispy outside skin layer and a fully cooked sausage layer, excuse me. Stuffy this week from allergies from the fires, unfortunately. And now let's do some horseradish sauce. It definitely complements the bratwurst really well. So another success from the Greedo's Goldmine Cast Iron Kitchen. Bratwurst and potatoes, a very simple one, again, that can be done in about 20 to 30 minutes total time to boil the sausages, fry them up, and then fry the potatoes. And again, only takes a couple ingredients: horseradish sauce, 5 spices, and some olive oil, and you're pretty much set. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share. If you've enjoyed this, as always, and wherever you are out there on this planet, hope you're having a good one. Happy weekend. And I hope you have a great start to your week as well. See you on the next one, everybody.